Hey there and good afternoon everyone. This is Trader Tim from over at eminimine.com. We're doing a Monday market analysis video on the E-mini S&P. First thing we have to talk about is the third sell-off from the 50% 29.25, which is just the trading hours only high to low. I am still in the SPY swing trade short and just kind of waiting for it to break lows and come down to this 27.70. I did already take some off the last time we kind of came down and made this double bottom, but we will see if the last little bit is able to complete its retracement. If it does, then I would draw up the next retracement like so, and then look for an entry. I close out of that position at the negative 23, or at least trail my stop aggressively at that point, get out, and then look for another short at the next 50% retracement. Today, inside day, meaning the high and low of today are within the high and low of yesterday. We're kind of sitting in the bottom half of yesterday. And so going into today, I was expecting, range bound price action as we opened, seeing that we were going to open as an inside day. And so the good thing about this sort of volatility level is that the ranges are big, thus a range bound day, you get some opportunities. So today we started off with this double top right at the open, and then pretty quick sell off in the first 15 minutes. We then got a low tick that lined up with low price. I wasn't able to get in this first tiny little retracement, but I did draw up the next retracement. If you look at the full halfway back, the full halfway back is all the way up here. So you could draw like this swing high to lows, but what ends up happening is the first one, if you draw it up, see how we pierced the 61.8 and then we went beyond the negative 23. And when that first retracement is messy like that, or especially if it goes beyond the negative 23, then one of two things are going to happen. We're either going to bounce and not make it even close to the next 50, like we would only bounce a little bit and then roll over, or we're going to make the full halfway back. So that being said, I went ahead and took the long here because we had a low tick that lined up with lows, and that was the, at the time it wasn't, so this is about 47 minutes into the day. And so we were below the moving average that I have drawn here, but that low tick at lows gave me a little bit of confidence, and the momentum or the likelihood of being a range bound day had me thinking that we might kind of ping pong between top of the first 30 minutes and the bottom of the first 30 minutes, which I have highlighted here with the gray horizontal line. So that one went about 5 points, and it was still a really good trade, even though we only had one leg. Like we pulled back to the 50, went to the negative 23. Then when you draw up the next retracement, we broke that one. When this happens, where like these distances are getting pretty nice and wide, I put my stop underneath this swing low because we were also trading right at that halfway back short that I was just referring to. So market moves up, I get aggressive here, and then tighten my stop, and then as it punches through, then we kind of shift gears. So I did draw up the next retracement, and we didn't quite break it enough to take this little short. It was a really nice short, or just a nice sell-off from there. But I drew up the next retracement long. I was looking for it to break a little bit more, and then I would have been okay taking the short. But this one kind of stopped and just didn't end up getting in that one for the day. but got the nice little long. And then I tried to draw some setups down here, but it was just so messy that I never ended up getting in a trade. Reason being, if we look at, you could say, okay, well, what about this long? Well, it never broke the swing high, and we're coming up to the underside of the first 30-minute range. Then over here, you could say, well, we broke above the first 30-minute range. Drawing like this is the first one to the target, and then this being the second one, second retracement. That would have been an okay long. I decided not to take it today just because that 50% put us back below the first 30-minute range. Like you'd be entering and then sort of butting your head right up against resistance. So then you say, okay, well, as we rolled over, then we kind of went back into you could like draw a box around here, and then kind of did that for another 15, 20 minutes, and then eventually we did punch through further into back into the range. Again, being range bound, my cautionary radar is kind of up for the day because range bound price action can be a little bit tricky. And then we did have a low to high that didn't quite touch its 50 here, but it did trade off of like so, the 50 up here. It ended up being the exact same. So 64.88 is the 50. If you round up to 65 and add a tick, that's where I placed my stop at 25s, and it ended up touching, or my order ended up touching it, but not filling. And so then I just kind of called it a morning. And I was more than happy with that because a range-bound day like this, I'd rather be one and done and not get chopped up than just have a whole bunch of trades and kind of start the week off on a bad note. So kind of a decent day in terms of like the distance that the market was moving, but you did have to get a little lucky, especially because it was an inside day. Other than that, going into the rest of the week, we've got Labor Day this weekend, so Friday is typically kind of a slowdown day, but if we come down and break any of these swing lows back here, we should easily be able to make it to 27.71 on the ES. If we come up, then this is the swing high be looking to break, about a 29.40. And then that 29.50 is the 61.8. So we're kind of in the same position we were the last 2 weeks. We've got the 50% short above us, and we're just sort of ping-ponging back and forth between that and lows. So tomorrow morning, live trading session, eminimind.com/VIP if you want to check that out. Hope everyone has a great week, and I will talk to you soon.